Time now for business news. Once again, we check back in with Mike Eppel now, and we know that U.S.-Canada trade negotiations are continuing when it comes to NAFTA. But will Canada concede to the U.S. in their demands on the dairy industry? That's the big question.
And that's the talk this morning. Good morning, Tammy. The Globe and Mail reporting that Canada might be willing to make some maneuvers on the protected dairy industry in this country. The supply management system, which has been a major talking point of the Trump administration in these NAFTA renegotiations. There has been some room made on the auto side of the trade talks, reportedly, and as well as perhaps raising what is known as the de minimis tax, the lowest threshold where Canadians have to pay a tax on anything imported or purchased from the United States and shipped into Canada. This would affect companies, for example, such as Amazon or anything that Canadians buy stateside. So we've seen a little bit of maneuverability here on the Canadian side, and we'll see if, in fact, a trade deal can be done by week's end. That's sort of the Trump administration's self-imposed deadline. Got records this morning for the already two world's most valuable companies, Apple and Amazon. Apple continues to climb above that $1 trillion market threshold, which was hit a few weeks back, and Amazon's getting close. Amazon within about $50 billion of a $1 trillion market value, as the stock price this morning has cleared $1,950 U.S. It's been one of the huge winners on Wall Street this year, and one of the reasons why the NASDAQ this morning comes in at an all-time record high. Cannabis companies have been big moneymakers for investors so far for 2018. The companies themselves not making any money, at least not at this point. Tilray of Nanaimo, BC, reported earnings last evening, and it lost $12 million in its latest quarter, had sales of just $10 million. It does see improving earnings, obviously, once we have legalized cannabis sales coming up on October 17th, starting then. But in the meantime, Tilray, even with minuscule sales at this point, a market value of close to $5 billion, with all sorts of merger and acquisition speculation about all of these big cannabis producers, which have seen their stock prices go significantly to the upside over the course of this year. That's the latest in business this morning. Send it over to Melanie.